What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Dr. Splash, and per insane amount of comments and requests, we are debunking Simone the Digger versus Kyle, the White Lantern from DC Comics. Now, I will be speaking primarily on the DC and Kyle arguments, as Kyle Rayner had a lot of weird arguments on their part. So before we get into this, smash the like button. Let's get this to 400 plus likes if you love debunks like this. And I also drop regular content of my own with a bunch of versus battles, power scaling, and comic book reviews coming up, including reviewing Hulk vs. Thor. Y'all keep asking about that as well. Now, back on topic with this. Primarily on this video, you will see scans proving higher spatial and higher dimensional scaling for the creation of DC Comics. Including obviously the popular outerversal or beyond dimensionality and beyond the concepts of time and space. So you'll be seeing these scans as I talk, because the big focal point of why I believe this battle was wrong is because they scaled DC incorrectly. There's several points I'll be talking about, but first let's start with the positive, right? Amazing production. This time and again, Death Battle has the best production in our genre, and you have to give them flowers for that. I never want to spread hate. When I do debunks, it's just because I disagree with opinions. That's it. Their animation itself, the music, all that, beautiful. It was just really well made. And from what I've heard from people that are really into Gurren Lagann, it doesn't sound like they were necessarily wrong with anything they said about Simone. And by the way, asking the streets, why do they call him Simone and not Simon? He spelled it Simon. Like, why are they doing that shit? As an American, I gotta ask the streets. Like, let me know why. Yancey Street is wondering. Now, back on topic, right? It sounds like they mostly got his stuff correct. It's just the Kyle Rayner arguments were honestly really weird. First, they said all of DC's creation is 12D. This is a really weird argument. Obviously, as you will see on screen as I've been talking, there's several, I mean, we're talking dozens to hundreds of examples of how especially modern DC is well beyond, in terms of the entire scope of creation, dimensionality itself. So to limit it to 12D would, and by the way, the scan they use that mentions 12D, it mentions there's dimensions beyond that, just in the multiverse, right? A 13th, a 14th, well beyond the preconceived 12. So that it's kind of funny they limited it to that, even though it clearly wasn't. So the 12D DC was really weird, and it's honestly, to my knowledge, different from any of their other previous DC cosmology stances. I mean, they had Superman at outer. They had DC's creation at outer, so to have it now at 12D was really weird. The infinite potential argument was probably my biggest, and I think the best word to describe this situation is it felt forced, right? Like, this argument felt forced. Obviously, popular rebuttal to this would be to call it a no limits fallacy. That is, you say basically Simone the Digger can infinitely get stronger, right? Like, nothing you can do about it. I disagree with this. I don't think he has infinite potential to the degree that he surpasses DC's outer to high outer creation, right? Which the White Lantern can scale to. You can even, it literally contains the life equation itself, right? Which comes from the source. So obviously you can scale it up that high. And I'm not even a Kyle guy. Like, to me, to be honest, Kyle sucks. Never liked his character. But Kyle fans, all 7 of them, will attack me in the comments for saying that, so let me pipe down. I'm just a Guy Gardner fan. However, the infinite potential argument's really weird. Like, it's a, oh, we've never seen him demonstrate this level of power, but he has really good hacks when it comes to evolving, so we're just going to assume he will. It's like, okay, cool. Let's say I've shown evolution up to a planetary standpoint. Would I thus then assume, like, let's say I went from wall level to planetary? It's insane magnitude of increase. So would I assume I could go outer? Or even if you go from planetary to universal or 4D, 5D, it's an infinite magnitude. Thus, would I assume it can infinitely increase beyond that, so I can go outer, high outer? Like, that's a weird argument to make, even when you take away the the technical aspect of the no limit fallacy, if you just look at it from a logical perspective, that's a lot to assume, and it kind of piggybacks into, does that mean Saitama beats everybody in their lens? Because when he evolved to Cosmic Garu, it was more than an infinite transcendence. Like he was going levels we hadn't seen before. It was suggested his power even went beyond string theory itself, going from fucking planetary to that's retarded. Like, it's crazy. So is Saitama the same shit? Like, do they body everybody? I will say something though that I agree with that they said. They said when you get to characters of a certain magnitude, of a certain power level, calcs are stupid. I agree with that. I think when you have someone balling in a ballpark that's well beyond the ballpark you typically associate with calcs are useless. Like, if I use calc to find out how strong someone is that's planetary and below, if I then go to the outer range, it's beyond dimensions. It'd be beyond math. Like, stop calcing, stop prescribing like MFTL, trying to figure out these outer feeds, how to calc them. No, like, stop. It's way beyond that. The calcs become useless. It's more so becomes about weighing out the different feats and statements and seeing which level is more impressive. That's what it comes down to, more so than the actual calcs. So I did agree with them there. I'm kind of glad they helped push that line of reasoning, because a lot of times these high tier characters, people try to argue with calcs. It's like, what are you doing, dude? These calcs are useless right now. Like, we've got way better shit than this calc you got. We have way better feats that you can't calc. Like, stop. So I 100% agree with that. I think overall my biggest issue too is lack of consistency on their part, right? Like, they regressed entirely on their DC stance. And this isn't me attacking Superman. I can't say 6 Superman fans. He hits a fuck ton of fans. I don't want Superman fans thinking this is a negative towards him. I'm just bringing this up. Like, when it comes to measuring DC's creation, the multiverse, and how strong Superman is, they go leaps and bounds to make it universal, to make it way stronger, to make it sound insanely impressive. But then when you have the White Lantern, who they've conceded they're scaling above the multiverse to creation, like all this shit, it's 12D. Like, that, why did they regress on their DC stance? Like, are they gonna remake Goku and Superman and say Superman's like 12D now? That would be like, it's weird. I don't get it. I don't get the regression on their stance. Like, I don't understand why they regressed their stance on the DC cosmology. I don't think it makes much sense. And again, if you want evidence, it's been playing across the screen since I literally started the video. But you can also join my Discord. And if you want access to all my scans and stuff related to the topic, we could talk business as well. But we have plenty of free stuff in the public server as well. But anyways, guys, this was my debunk. I hope this information I provided both while I was talking and with the DC cosmology scans that were playing across the screen, I hope they help you understand that 12D DC is absolutely not a thing. It's massively beyond that. And thus, they really lowballed it and regressed their stance in order to give the Digger a chance, which was interesting. Like, I didn't know Gurren Lagann fans had motion like that for them to make that kind of appeal. But to each their own. It was beautifully produced. It was a really fun battle to watch. The animation was crispy. And I enjoyed it, besides me disagreeing with their research. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let's keep it positive. It's good vibes on Yancey Street, Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that. Join the Discord. And yeah, never forget, it's Yancey Street, bitches.